Hello and welcome to Shadowverse News. So, we've got some great news today. First up, we have the March 8th update. We got all the details for it and what was going on with that update. Of course, I went over all the normal details like what was being added, but in this case, this is what was meant, well, being changed or necessarily not being changed. In this case, there was no changes again for this month. Personally, I don't have a problem with that, and we'll go over a little bit of the information that Cygames has given us on why they decided to go this route. So, for rotation, there are currently 12 deck types with 51% win rate or higher, which is pretty reasonable and shows that it's got a nice device meta setup going on for it. 7 deck types with 4% usage rate or higher, again, shows that there is a nice diverse range of decks. It's not too bad, and I, in my personal experience, would agree. I see pretty nice random decks around quite regularly. I mean, it's not bad at all for me. So hopefully it's the same for most of you guys. Otherwise, there is Unlimited, where 11 deck types with a win rate of 51% or higher, and no deck with particularly high usage rate, but 9 decks have a usage rate of 4 or higher. Then we also have the going first statistics for both rotation and Unlimited. Going first in February was 50.4%, now is 51.3%, so we have seen about a 1.0% increase almost. It's very, very close to that. And in Unlimited, we've seen next to no increase, going from 51.4% to a now 51.5%, so a 0.1% increase. So really not too much to say there. The increase in going first isn't really substantial, and it's still extremely close to 50%, which is quite good, even though we are seeing a creep in rotation for that going first. Hopefully this expansion will change that up a little bit and hopefully work out. It's also something they're keeping a particular eye on, is one thing they mentioned in the notes. Then we have a direct quote from what they had posted, which is, to sum up, there aren't any decks that have a particular high win rate or usage rates. The play environment is diverse, and there is no extreme player advantage for those reasons. We've decided that changes to cards aren't necessary this time around, which I think is fair, honestly. A lot of people are complaining, a lot of people are up in arms. Personally, I've seen other people quite happy with how things are. I'm quite happy with how things are. Once a new meta comes in with the new expansion, things will be shaken up. I'm sure you'll see those players who are complaining follow on to complain about something else or something in that regard. That's usually the cycle of how things go. And I'm sure that that's not going to stop anytime soon. It's been kind of a staple of Shadowverse for a long time that something is going to be strong. A few decks might be strong. People will complain about it. People move on. Circle of life going on right there. The next thing to come along with this update was the new addition of the Guild War story, which is quite interesting. Basically, it's you're going to another land with all the characters, going basically similar to how Nexus had described multiple worlds. So you go to a new world and you're going to explore that. I personally haven't played the story yet, but it has been updated, so jump on that while you can. Get in there, check out the new story. It sounds really interesting. It basically says these chapters take place in Isuna, I would assume that's how you pronounce it, although I'm terrible with pronunciation, so I do apologize. A magic land ruled by 5 guilds. There, Arisa and the others will encounter a cast of colourful characters, including a helpful woman called Maisha and a beastman known as Cetus, which seem to be quite interesting and hopefully will provide some fresh take on the story mode. The story in the beginning was pretty rough. Towards the end, the Nexus's storylines got a bit more interesting, and now I hope they can continue that pace and improve as they go. While it's not the best story in any game ever, I don't think it's been too bad as of late. Other than that, the only thing you need to do to play this is to have completed Morningstar conclusion section of the main story to unlock the Guild War story. And I will have a playthrough of that on my channel very, very soon. Probably not too long after this video goes up, honestly. So keep an eye out for that one. Next up, the Shadowverse Twitter has revealed the release schedule for a certain amount of cards. As you'll see on screen here, the Shadowverse Open gets 3, Envy Bear has 1, Shadow Nexus has 1, Crypt's getting 4, Prep gets 1, Noxious is 3, and Ignidius gets 1, which, not surprising, it makes sure there's an even split between the couple of Hearthstone streamers they've included, which are the Crypt and Noxious. They're getting the 7, and then 7 spread out through the Shadowverse community from Shadowverse Open right through to the Shadow Nexus and Igneous, all getting a few cards each to really check out the new expansion. And there are also dates, which I'm sure you can see on screen, for when these will be happening along with times, so you know to look out for them. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. The next thing in the news is the Shadowverse deck Stravaganza. This is the second time we're having a deck Stravaganza, at least I believe it is. We have also had Pack Palooza, which is pretty big as well, but this is our mid-season Shadowverse Open one where all of the streamers and different community members duke it out for a top charity prize with a prize pool of $2,000, first place $1,000, second $5,000, third and fourth both getting $250 each, which is pretty cool, honestly. So you'll see some great streamers and you'll see some great players entering this event, I'm sure. Obviously this isn't an open event, so it is invite only, so those streamers have already been selected. It is running on Saturday, March 10th at 10 AM Pacific time, so be sure to be there and check it out. It's very, very soon. It will be held on the Shadowverse Open Twitch, I believe. I believe that's where this is being held. Otherwise, I will... Actually, no, sorry. It will be on the Shadowverse Games Twitch because they have moved over to that. So I will leave the link to this in the description below, along with any of the other news articles in this video. You can find them all in the description below, as always. So the next thing up in the news is the Shadowverse Pro League that the Rage eSports organization in Japan is opening. So we haven't got too much information in English, or at least not enough that I can discern really reliably. So I didn't want to report too much false information about it. So basically, Rage eSports is a notable organization in Japan and has opened the Shadowverse Pro League. There isn't much else there. I've got a couple of links that you can check out that give you some info. I did use the Google Translate to translate the web pages and get a little bit of info out of it, but nothing too major. I believe they're having a prep event, which was either today, I think, or tomorrow sort of time frame, something like that. And then they've got the main event starting, I think, about the 17th or 21st, looking at the schedule stuff that I can see, but it doesn't really show me too much. Other than that, though, they did release a pretty cool video, which I'm pretty sure I'll have a part of playing on screen for you guys while looking at this. And of course, I will leave a link to the openrecord.tv where this should be live when they're doing this. So you can follow it, I believe, if you create an account. It is all Japanese again because it is a Japanese-based website, which is pretty normal. But if you do want to check it out, try and find as much information as you can, and I'll leave the links that I have for you guys in the description below. So, following on from the last bit of news, we have Hollowed Skies New York City Gathering. That should be pretty interesting. This is one of the few physical events for Shadowverse that teams and stuff are starting to hold, and it means we are moving forward in the West with actual physical events, which should be pretty interesting. So, this event is being held Sunday, March 11th at 1 PM. The location is at Evo Gaming, which all of it should be on screen, and I'll leave a link in the description to the Twitter post from Hollowed Skies with all the details, so you guys can check it out yourself. Of course, if you are in New York City or close by, please sure to go check it out. It should be a fun time. Of course, you do need to bring your own event device or rent from the venue, but I'm sure they'll have plenty available, so be sure to check that one out. It seems like it could be pretty interesting. And the last bit of news I have for this Shadowverse news video is Shadowverse Dawnbreaker Night Edge Tournament in Australia. So on the 31st of March, Saturday at 11 AM, that's when the registration is for this event. It's another physical event similar to how Hollowed Sky is having their event. This one is hosted by a store in Melbourne, the Neko Card Store. This is the first Australian store event for Shadowverse, so pretty big, honestly, to have a store event in Australia of all places. Of course, I am Australian and I live in Australia. Unfortunately, I don't live in Melbourne. I wish I did. That way I could go to this event and check it out, because that would be absolutely awesome. They even hit me up about the event, and unfortunately I'm not able to go. But hopefully the Wandering Bard, a guy who does live in Melbourne and my co-caster for most of the tournaments we have held, should be able to attend that event. It is going to be a little ways off. I mean, March 31st is a few weeks away, so that's really interesting. But they're going to have participation prizes. So there's a limited edition participation card sleeve and participation emblem, at least according to the details here, and a champion prize for a card sleeve and champion emblem, which should be really interesting. Also, for pre-registration, you can get one physical promo card, so this is a pretty major event. I mean, to have all these things in your event is pretty cool. They also are having community prize support, so based on players, they should be able to get vial prizes. And the format is Swiss, best of 1, 30-minute rounds, rotation format, And that's pretty much all you need to know. You do have to bring your own device if you are going to this event. I will leave the link to the event page in the description below so you guys can check it out if you are in Australia, close by to Melbourne, or really keen and just want to head there for this event. Hopefully you guys can, because it would be super cool to get as many people to this event as possible to show that the Australian audience is there for this game and they want to check it out. So make sure to keep on to those events. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this news video. I've put them together for you guys so you can have all your news in one good place, and make sure to check them out in the future. Of course, there might not be one for a little while due to personal matters, which I will release a video about and go into detail for you guys. Otherwise, coming up on our channel, or my channel, I will have some pretty cool stuff coming out with the story mode, obviously all the regular content, another card review very, very soon. Those should come out pretty soon after this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button and subscribe for more content. If you want to see more of this, leave me a comment in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.